When you take a look inside a book, who knows what you will see? When you take a look inside a book, it's fun as fun can be. With cats and dogs and birds and frogs, a monkey who says boo, wonderful things, giants and kings, and maybe a Fimble or two. Now what have we here? When you take a look inside a book, who knows what you might see? A story or rhyme, just take the time to read along with me. Here we are. Now, are you two sitting comfortably?
Yes. Yes.
Good. Then I'll begin. This story is called The Twinkliest Star. One day, Baby Polar Bear and his mum went to play with some friends. They had a lovely day. But as it got darker, Mummy Polar Bear said it was time to go home.
It's a bit dark,
said the Baby Polar Bear. Yes, it is, said Mum. But don't worry, we'll have the stars for company. Baby Polar Bear plodded through the snow and wondered what was out there in the dark. Mum, he said, how do you know the way home when it's dark? It's easy, she replied. I just look for the brightest, twinkliest star and follow that. Is that one the twinkliest? Said Baby Polar Bear. Yes, said his mum. And I know a song about our star. Would you like to hear it? Oh, yes, said Baby Polar Bear. So Mum began to sing. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Just then another voice came rumbling out of the darkness. Then a traveller in the dark thanks you for your tiny spark. He could not see which way to go if you did not twinkle so. Baby Polar Bear was so happy to see his dad. Guess what? Said Baby Polar Bear. We followed the twinkliest star and it brought Mum and me all the way home. So it did, said Daddy Polar Bear. So it did. Are you all sitting comfortably?
Yes, Daddy.
Good. Then I'll begin. This story is called A Big Fish Surprise. In the cold, cold land of the North Pole, Daddy Polar Bear and Baby Polar Bear were fishing. They each sat near a hole in the ice and waited. They waited and waited, but they didn't catch any fish. A seal popped up.
Hello,
said the seal. Shh, said Daddy Polar Bear. You'll scare the fish away. So the seal popped back down. A walrus popped up. Hello, said the walrus. Shh, said Baby Polar Bear. You'll scare the fish away. So the walrus popped back down. Suddenly, Baby Polar Bear felt a tug. I think I've caught a fish, he said, and pulled hard. Daddy Polar Bear felt a tug. I think I've caught a fish, he said, and pulled hard. Baby Polar Bear was nearly pulled down his hole. This fish must be huge, he said. Daddy Polar Bear was nearly pulled down his hole. This fish must be enormous, he said. Baby Polar Bear pulled and pulled, but he didn't see Daddy Polar Bear fall in. Splash! I can see the fish, shouted Baby Polar Bear. It's got a black nose and a white face and it's gigantic. It's... Ooh! It was Daddy Polar Bear. Our fishing lines must have got tangled up, he laughed. There weren't any fish at all. The seal and the walrus popped up again. That's what we were trying to tell you, said the seal. There aren't any fish down there today. Oh, well, said Daddy Polar Bear. I think I've had enough fishing for today. I fancy something else for supper tonight. So they went home and had sausages instead. Are you sitting comfortably, Fimble?
Yes, Roly.
Then I'll begin. This story is called A Noisy Night. Molly was worried.
Where's my monkey?
She said.
I can't stay the night at Granny's without monkey.
You'll be all right, said her mum. It's very quiet at Granny's. You won't have any trouble getting to sleep. Just as Dad was tooting the car horn outside, Molly found Monkey. He was having a sleep under her bed. So off went Molly and Monkey in the car to Granny's. After Dad had gone, Molly felt a bit lonely, so Granny made her favourite supper and then tucked her up in bed. Sleep well, said Granny. I'm sure you will. It's very quiet here. Where Molly lived, there were lots of cars. She liked hearing them go by and seeing their lights on the ceiling. Here it was dark, and it was very quiet. Then she heard something. Oh, yes, it was Granny watching television. Then there was another noise. Oh, yes, the dog from across the road. Then there was quiet for a long time. Molly hugged Monkey. Suddenly, there was a strange noise. An owl! A real owl! Oh! Molly shut her eyes tight and listened hard so she could tell Dad all about it. The next thing she knew, Granny was opening the curtains. Good morning, Molly, she said. Did you have a quiet night? Oh, no, said Molly. It was a very noisy night, but I really enjoyed it. Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes.
Good. Then I'll begin. This story is called A Picture Story. Mirinda's granny had promised to give her some roller skates for her birthday. But when the post arrived, there was only a large envelope. Granny sent you a letter, said Mum.
Oh, but I can't read yet,
said Mirinda. Well, open it and have a look, said Mum. When Mirinda opened the letter, instead of words, she saw 3 pictures. Oh, what does it say? Asked Mum.
I don't know,
said Mirinda.
There's some stairs and a bed and a red box.
She had an idea.
Does it say where the present is?
Mirinda went up and down the stairs 3 times. She even looked in the basket of clean washing that was waiting to go upstairs, but there was no present. What is the next picture? Said her mum.
Oh, it was a bed,
said Mirinda. So she looked in her bedroom. Nothing. Then she looked on Mum's bed, and there was the big red box. Granny must have left it there last time she came. Mirinda opened the box. Inside was a brand new pair of roller skates. There were lots of bangs and crashes while Mirinda learned to skate. At first, she had to hold onto the sofa. Then, a little while later, she could do it by herself. That night, Mirinda said, I've written a letter to Granny. She showed her mum 3 pictures. Do you think she'll know what it means? Oh, I think so, said Mum. It means that you can skate. Granny will be pleased.
And that picture,
said Mirinda,
means thank you.
Are you sitting comfortably?
Yes, Roly.
Good. Then I'll begin. This story is called A Smelly Day. One day, Ben and Charlie were playing in the garden when they smelt something.
What's that smell?
Said Ben.
It's a cakey sort of smell,
said Charlie. It made them hungry, so they followed the smell inside. and found Dad in the kitchen. "Guess what's in here, boys?" Dad said as he opened the oven door.
A cake,
Said Charlie.
a chocolate cake.
Said Ben. And it was a big chocolate cake for Mum's birthday. "Close your eyes and see what else you can guess," said Dad. "I've got some more things here." Charlie and Ben tried to guess.
I can smell soap,
Said Charlie.
polish,
Said Ben.
fruit.
Said Charlie. "That's right," said Dad. "Can you guess what I'm doing?"
Mixing them up all together?
Said Ben.
Making a mess on the carpet?
Said Charlie. "I hope not," said Dad. "But I do need your help to make the house look nice for when Mum gets back from work." When Mum got home, the boys made her guess the smells too. "I guess shiny shoes," she said. There they were, all shiny and smelling of polish. "I guess washing up." And there it was, smelling of soap bubbles. "I guess fruit salad," said Mum. Very fruity. "Oh, and is that chocolate cake?" When Mum opened her eyes, she saw that Ben and Charlie had found 2 more smells. Candles on the cake and some pink roses from the garden. "What a lovely, smelly birthday," said Mum. "Are you sitting comfortably?"
Yes, thank you, Roly.
Good, then I'll begin. This story is called A Special Present for Baby Polar Bear. In the frozen, cold land of the North Pole lived a family of polar bears. There was a mother, a father, and a baby polar bear. One day, they were catching fish for their tea when baby polar bear said,
Daddy, am I a real polar bear?
"Of course you are," said his father. Baby polar bear said,
Well then, why am I always cold?
Daddy polar bear laughed. "Yes, it's always freezing cold here, but this is our home." That night, Mummy polar bear suggested that they might all go on holiday to somewhere warmer. So the next day they went south to the seaside. They had a lovely time sitting in the sun, splashing in the warm sea, and collecting seashells. Soon the holiday was nearly over, and baby polar bear looked sad. "Aren't you looking forward to going home?" asked his father.
Yes, but could we take some warm back with us?
Said baby polar bear. "I'm afraid not," said his father. But it did give him an idea. When they got back to the cold of the North Pole, he gave baby polar bear a special present. It was a scarf with pictures of seashells on it. "This is to keep you warm," said Daddy Polar Bear.
Oh, thank you,
said Baby Polar Bear. It was lovely and warm, and he knew every time he wore it, he would remember their holiday in the sun. Now, are you sitting comfortably? Good, then I'll begin. This story is called Snowflake. It was the coldest day of the year. The sky was white, the trees were white, the grass was white. Everywhere Snowflake looked was white. But Snowflake was very happy. All around her friends were dancing. "Hello, hello," they shouted to Snowflake. Bump! Suddenly, Snowflake landed somewhere. She landed on something orange. It was a carrot. Someone was pushing the carrot into a big ball of snow for a nose. Then someone else added 2 big buttons for eyes. They were making a snowman. Snowflake could hear the children laughing and playing until it was time for them to go in. Then Snowflake heard a voice singing. It was the snowman. He was singing a happy song. Here I am again, happy as can be, with my snowflakes keeping me company. Snowflake looked up at the sun shining brightly in the blue sky. Soon she could feel herself sliding down the snowman's chin and onto his tummy.
Oh dear, she said. It can't be time to go yet. I've only just got here.
But then she melted onto the ground with a plop. The other snowflakes were falling too.
Goodbye, goodbye,
they said.
See you next time it snows,
said Snowflake. Are you all sitting comfortably?
Yes, Roly.
Oh, good. Then I'll begin. This story is called A Frosty Night. It was the last day of autumn. The old oak tree watched as his last leaf fell. It's nearly winter, said the tree. Oh, dear. The moon came out. Hello, tree, she said. What's the matter with you this fine night? Oh, it's nearly winter, said the tree, and all my leaves have gone. Oh, I love winter, said the moon. I can peep through your branches now. And she did. Peep-o. But the tree didn't want to play this game. I love summer, said the tree, when my leaves are green and shady, and autumn, when my leaves are lots of colours. Now I've just got brown branches. Oh. The moon had an idea. She went to see her friend, Jack Frost. He was busy mixing up something in a huge silver pot. The moon told him about the tree. "Ho-ho!" said Jack Frost. "I know just what to do." And he called two little elves who dipped their tiny silver buckets into the big pot. The tree was still sighing when the elves flew over and started painting his branches. "Hey!" said the tree. "Oh, stop that. It tickles."
We're giving you a winter coat, hee-hee,
laughed the elves. "How's that?" Moon asked the tree. The tree looked at his branches. Now they were all silver and glittering in the moonlight. "Oh, that's beautiful," said the tree. "A sparkly winter coat. Thank you, Moon." "Ah, don't thank me," said the moon. "Thank Jack Frost." Are you all sitting comfortably?
Yes, Roly.
Then I'll begin. Now, this story is all about shopping. I need to go shopping. I've made a list. Bread, apples and eggs. Is there something I've missed? I've so little time, so I walk very fast. Ah, here are the shops at last. This is the baker's, but what's going on? No sign of a loaf, not even a crumb. The baker's unhappy. "I'm sorry to say our oven is broken. There's no bread today." No bread? Oh dear, no bread to buy. But there's somewhere else that I could try. At the greengrocer's is a very long queue. So while I wait, I look at the view. There are hundreds of fruits piled up very tall. But can you believe it? No apples at all. No apples? Oh dear, no apples to buy. But there's somewhere else that I could try. I like to buy eggs at the farmer's shop. But the egg van today had to suddenly stop and all the boxes fell wide open. And yes, every single egg was broken. No eggs. Oh dear, no eggs to buy. There is not a thing on my list I can buy. But there's somewhere else that I could try. The supermarket is huge and wide, with lots of different things inside. So many things it isn't funny, because I've just spent all my money. No money, oh dear, no money to spend. But at least I found everything in the end.